before America turns 250 years old, there's something strange happening. The closer we get to celebrating the nation's founding, the louder the official story becomes. Freedom, liberty, patriots, founding fathers. But hidden beneath the paintings, speeches, and monuments is another history. A history that was burned, painted over, and quietly erased. What if some of the most important events behind America's rise were deliberately pushed into the shadows? Because tonight we're opening 3 buried chapters of the founding era. The revolution that terrified America's leaders so badly. It changed the map forever. The library fire that destroyed ideas the nation may not have wanted remembered. And the black soldiers who fought for independence, only to disappear from the paintings afterward. And once you see these missing pieces together, the story of America's founding starts to look very different. This is the history they buried. In 1791, on the French colony of Saint-Domingue, now known as Haiti, enslaved people launched what would become the most successful slave revolt in human history, the Haitian Revolution. And its consequences would terrify the Atlantic world. At the time, Saint-Domingue was one of the richest colonies on earth. Sugar, coffee, enormous wealth. But that wealth depended on brutal slavery. Then suddenly, the enslaved fought back. Plantations burned across the island. French forces collapsed. European empires panicked. And here's where the story gets strange. Because while America celebrates its own revolution endlessly, the Haitian Revolution is often treated like a historical side note. Why? Possibly because Haiti exposed a contradiction the young United States didn't want to face. America had declared liberty for all men, but many of its founders were still slave owners. A successful black revolution nearby wasn't just politically dangerous, it was existential. Thomas Jefferson himself reportedly feared the Haitian Revolution could inspire uprisings in America. Southern newspapers spread panic. Refugees flooded into cities like New Orleans, and then came Napoleon. After years of losing troops and money in Haiti, France's dream of a North American empire began collapsing, which led directly to one of the biggest land deals in American history, the Louisiana Purchase. Without Haiti draining French resources and crushing Napoleon's ambitions, would America have doubled in size? Some historians argue the answer is no, meaning one of the most important expansions in U.S. history may have been made possible by a revolution America rarely centers in its own narrative. Think about that. A black-led revolution may have helped shape the future borders of the United States itself. Yet most Americans barely hear about it. So ask yourself, was Haiti ignored because it was irrelevant, or because it was too important? Now let's move north. Philadelphia, one of the intellectual capitals of early America. In 1731, Benjamin Franklin helped establish the Library Company of Philadelphia. It became one of the colony's most important centers of knowledge. Political writings, scientific debates, anti-slavery texts, revolutionary ideas. But here's the unsettling part. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, fires repeatedly threatened and damaged collections connected to America's early intellectual institutions. And historians still debate exactly how much material disappeared forever. Some records vanished. Some early pamphlets survived only in fragments. Some voices simply stopped appearing in the archive. And when archives disappear, history changes with them. Because history isn't just written by winners, it's preserved by survivors. Every lost letter changes the story. Every destroyed document narrows what future generations can know. Now pause for a second and think about this. How many ideas about race, revolution, abolition, or dissent vanished before modern historians ever got to read them? How many inconvenient perspectives disappeared into smoke? And more importantly, When nations build myths about themselves, which documents get protected and which ones quietly vanish? Sometimes history isn't erased dramatically. Sometimes it fades because nobody powerful wanted to preserve it. If you're into the stories hidden underneath official history, subscribe to Sea Echoes Uncovered. Because the deeper you dig into the past, the stranger the silence around certain events becomes. And some of the most important truths are hiding exactly where nobody's looking. Now for perhaps the most visual erasure of all. Black soldiers fought during the American Revolution. Thousands served. Some fought for the Continental Army. Others fought for the British after promises of freedom. But despite their major role, their presence often faded from America's most iconic imagery. Take the famous painting Washington crossing the Delaware. Most people remember Washington standing heroically at the front, but many viewers miss one critical figure nearby. A black soldier believed by some historians to represent Prince Whipple. Yet over time, reproductions, school books, and popular imagery often centered white heroism while minimizing the diversity of the revolution itself. And this happened again and again. Paintings became mythology, mythology became memory, and memory became national identity. But here's the uncomfortable question. If Black Americans fought in the nation's founding, why were they so often excluded from the version of history later generations consumed? Because remembering them complicates the simpler narrative. It forces America to confront a founding era filled with contradictions, a fight for liberty existing beside slavery, calls for equality alongside exclusion, heroes who believed in freedom, but not always for everyone. And maybe that's why these stories feel buried, not because they're false, but because they make the national story harder to simplify. As America approaches its 250th birthday, there's going to be a flood of celebration. Flags, speeches, patriotic tributes. But maybe the most honest way to honor history isn't to repeat the cleanest version of it. Maybe it's to confront what was hidden, the revolutions left out of textbooks, the documents lost to fire, the soldiers cropped out of memory. Because buried history has a strange way of resurfacing, and sometimes the missing pieces tell you more than the official story ever could. So now I want to hear from you. Which part of America's founding story do you think has been most deliberately forgotten? Drop your thoughts below. And if this story pulled you into the shadows behind the history books, tap the video on your screen next. YouTube's algorithm dug it up for a reason. Thanks for watching. And until the next echo, keep questioning the stories carved into stone.